Hello everyone, my name is Noel, and let's keep going with the Turok reviews. Now that I refresh myself a bit on Turok Evolution, I can say one thing. Looks really good in the beginning, but it has a lot of issues. On the other thing, this magnificent loading time. Yes, it had more cutscenes, better plot progression, more sensible weapon upgrade, essentially. Weapons get various upgrades you can switch on and off, but they removed the weapon wheel, and they introduced a couple of weapons that is impossible to dodge. The cerebral spore is much more brutal than ever.
Your performance is pathetic. I mean to break the lot of you. You worthless dogs have dishonored me and disgraced this army for the last time.
Oh, and yeah, you spend most of the game fighting
No other way through.
high-tech lizards.
I'll have to take them out.
Oh, and the main character also talks a bit. Every now and then. Ironically enough though, while the controls while shooting and everything is more smooth and streamlined, the more modern shooter, with enemies moving all over the place, like trying to cover. And you have can switch between ammos now. Here's the first. And sometimes they introduce an annoying flash every time you pick up something. Yes, that's very uncomfortable. Glad it's not tied to shooting. The music is much worse, and this is a GameCube port, the superior one. Also, if there's one thing that was issue with the PlayStation port, is that you might just come across a bug where the very slow and tedious intro sequence, this is just a bunch of maps and names, it was a bunch of maps and with names, would basically block your vision when you go swimming. Oh. Luckily... Oh yeah, luckily that is not a problem. Luckily, there's very little swimming to be done, so I suppose that's a good thing, but yes, that flash effect, I'm not sure if it's part of the emulation process or if it is due to oh god. And yes, also there is no longer the life seed pickups. Essentially the whole game is just checkpoint based. And to demonstrate here is that if you die, there's a loading screen, and the loading screen is kind of slow. Yes, 5 years later. Another thing they also introduced is a couple of sequences where you fly on a petrodactyl with rock homing missiles and machine guns. It's not the best sequence in the world. And of course they also introduced the ability to mount turrets. Luckily there isn't any real turret sequences here. And there is some stealth, meaning you can shoot the head of an enemy when they're not quite paying attention, and somehow his body will not see his friend just going when the head is going. And yes, I wasn't kidding about the loading time. And for some reason, whenever I enter a new area, the weapon the weapons reverted to him holding the reverts to the character holding the tomahawk again. But unfortunately, most, if not all of the game is spent in these set pieces. They somewhat connected. And there isn't very few, if any, jumping puzzles that didn't be named. And enemy is mildly more intelligent than your average Call of Duty player. It's not a high bar to get above, but hey, you take what you get, right? And sometimes the enemy will either surrender if we hit them, or like these people, they will run away. So yeah, well, you start off with dinos. While you start off fighting some dinos, you quickly resort into killing more and more lizard people. And yes, this time it's not some global conspiracy. Oh yeah, and also there are no markers telling you where to go. Explosions are always fun, good fun. Unless enemy using it. Luckily, projectile enemies are not very aimbot heavy. And they can lose limbs as usual. But of course, that means animations are not half as awesome as before. But hey, there's still blood. And graphically, it looks okay. And it has some fairly okay animated cutscenes. So clearly, they had a plan and they put some thought into it. But that's just it, right? Effort is the key here. I put some effort, not enough effort. And that is the crux of this whole franchise, eh? I mean, you have a Native American killing dinosaurs and aliens in the Lost Lands, where things from all epochs crashes together into a smorgasbord. So yeah, if you play the game, I can't really recommend it too much. I mean, look at this. Loading. And I suppose that is a good time to end this review, as you have seen pretty much the whole game in progress. Linear corridor, tied together with checkpoints and lots of fighting and enemies. Lots and lots of enemies and war weapons that may or may not be as awesome as you remember, or more awesome. I'm your host, Njol, #Sastron, signing out.
Proceeding well. We've received very light opposition thus far. The new plans look very good. Indeed. We'll roll over these vermin like toys. What have we heard from the scouting parties in the jungle interior? The diversion worked. While the rebels were combing the jungle, our assault force attacked their encampment and took the old man. He's being interrogated as we speak. We did lose a few soldiers in the jungle surrounding the village, however. Could this have been the warrior the human general once found? If the general's after him, he's got my sympathy.